We decided to redo the front porch of our house. The boards in the porch are probably as old as the house is, and the house was built in the early 90s. So when we moved in about 10 years ago, we really haven't done anything with it. So the boards are in pretty bad shape. They are full of mildew, they're dirty, and on top of it, we had to replace the stairs. So we decided to just restain everything. So the first thing we had to do was wash all of the boards of the porch to get rid of all of the dirt and mildew and mold that had grown on it over the last 10 years. So I used a sprayer and mixed up a solution of bleach, powdered detergent, and warm water, and then sprayed the entire front porch. I made sure that each board was completely saturated so that when we went back in to scrub everything off, I wouldn't miss anything. I then took a stiff bristle brush to scrub everything to make sure that I got out all of the dirt and the mildew and the mold. As you can see, it actually made the front porch look completely different just from that one step. See, look at the difference. It made such a huge difference. We then went and decided to power wash the porch, and we just used a regular power washer. You can rent them. We went through and just power washed each board, which is just basically an extra step, but it's a necessary step. It'll get rid of all of that leftover dirt that we scrubbed off of the boards. After you're done with the power washer, make sure to let the boards dry for 24 to 48 hours, depending on the humidity in your area. And the best part of this process, the staining. So we decided to use Thompsons WaterSeal Waterproofing Stain in solid acorn brown. And the reason that we chose this one is because we had the two different colors of wood, the old wood and the new wood. And we wanted to make sure that they blended together when the stain was applied. And we looked at other different brands. We looked at your Rust-Oleum, we looked at Behr, the Deckover, which we originally were going to do because we had the really old wood, but we decided not to use that because we read a lot of bad reviews about how it would chip away after a winter, and since we live in Illinois, we would have a lot of snow that would pile up on this porch, and we were afraid that the snow would possibly deteriorate the Behr Deckover. I started by using a regular paintbrush to paint all of the edges and the corners by the house. The stain kind of comes out really thick. It's slightly different consistency than paint, but it kind of goes on like paint, as you can see. So I just used a regular roller. Probably it would have been better to use a long-handled roller in this situation, but I used what I had already, and whatever, it worked out. It wasn't a ton of square footage, so it wasn't a big deal. I then used the paintbrush again to go in between the boards because just using the roller, I wasn't going to get the creases. So I would roll a little bit and then take the paintbrush and paint in between the boards. And there you go, the finished product. I think it looks pretty good. I liked how the stain went on. I thought it went on really nicely. It didn't really need a second coat. There were a couple touch-up spots that I needed to do, but for the most part, it went on really nicely, and I think it blended really well with the new and the old wood. The old wood obviously absorbed it a lot more than the new wood did, but in the end, I thought it was pretty good. My only wish is that I wish it was slightly darker. It looked maybe a little darker on the can or in the store, and I was hoping for like a richer brown, maybe a richer, slightly darker, but I think it turned out okay. So all in all, using this type of stain to rehab your porch, I would definitely say is worth it. If you have an old rotting porch, I think that you can give it a few more years by using the stain. It says that it lasts about 5 years. I don't know if this will last 5 years on this wood. It looks a million times better than what it did before, and it gave it like a new life. And it also blended it with the brand new wood that we had used for the stairs. So I would definitely say it is worthwhile to use this product.